I need to get an intro, like an actual, like, well put together intro, because this just isn't gonna cut it for me for too much longer. But Mason brought up an idea of doing seasons, so I think this is going to be the penultimate episode for season 1, and then when season 2 comes back, I promise you guys I will get an intro. That'll be like my
people have been
that'll be my
suggesting
promise
it
that we'll
too.
have a good intro.
We can get, I don't know, we can get
And I know we've
music,
been
we can
lagging,
get sound
but
effects. We can go crazy with that.
spoiler alerts. Anyways, welcome back to another episode of Sneak Speak. Today is August 12th. This is episode 9. I am Mateo.
It's Mason.
And today we have a guest, another out-of-state guest. Really excited to have somebody from the state of Washington, based out of Seattle, currently on the road. And I'll let him tell you why he's on the road. Alex, say what's up.
Hey, my name's Alex, aka Seattle Hype Plug on Instagram. As Mateo said, I'm from Seattle, but I'm currently moving down to SMU, Dallas, freshman at SMU. We're driving since mom doesn't want to fly, because we all know why.
That's fair.
Smart.
Yeah, and so we're in Salt Lake right now. It's pretty cool, I guess.
So, where'd you go to high school?
I went to Overlake. It's a private school. I'm a private school kid.
And then, what are you going to be majoring in at SMU?
Probably finance.
There you
Another
go.
business major.
There you go.
Yep. So how'd you get into shoes, and then how'd you get into reselling?
Well, shoes, I mean, they kind of go hand in hand for me, just because, like, my friend approached me, he was like, yo, like, this shoe is releasing this Saturday, whatever, it was the undefeated 97s, which I don't know if you guys remember those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I went for those,
are dope.
and like my friends and I like agreed to like split profits or whatever, and like use like just pull together our capital. And so we went for them, and we actually hit. This was before like bots just like destroyed every release. Like manual users actually had the chance back then. So yeah, we went for them. I actually got the pair, sold them on eBay for like $330, which was like a $150 profit after fees. So that was pretty solid.
Yeah, those went crazy on the resale market.
Yeah, totally.
That was a great release.
Yep.
Mason, Brandon actually went to. I think Brandon went to that release, and he like in San Francisco, and he got a T-shirt, and I think he went with Kenichi.
Are you guys from like LA area?
We're from the Bay Area, so.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Kenichi. Well, Kenichi had a pair. Our friend Kenichi.
Yeah.
I remember he was trying to sell those. That was when I was just starting. Yeah, I was just starting to getting into reselling too, and I was like, man, those are expensive as hell.
Yeah, and so we're from like the San Jose area, and from the story that I've heard, like Brandon didn't really know what he was doing, and Kenichi and another guy went up to San Francisco, drove like an hour and a half, and waited in line at the Undefeated store, and then got a pair. Brandon got a shirt, and he like had me sell it a while ago.
That's the way.
And he had no idea what he had. Brandon had an undefeated shirt, undefeated Nike shirt, the one that had like dropped alongside it. But I mean, fast forward 3 years, and now he's on our team.
Yep.
You know, helping us. It's dope how it comes full circle.
Yep.
Today is gonna be a pretty interesting podcast. I mean, why would we have a podcast? It's not interesting, but we have a couple of topics that even me and Mason have been debating by ourselves, and we wanted to get it out there and get everybody else's opinions.
We had to hold ourselves back from talking too much about it.
Yeah, we like it gets like not. It doesn't get heated. I feel like we stop ourselves when it's about to get heated because we don't want to get mad at each other. But let's just let it all out on the podcast. All right, let's just go. And then we have a topic that Mason wanted to cover, which I really love, in what's been your most embarrassing reselling moment. And then we have an interesting pool of good investments coming out in this week and next week. And one release already came out and it's sparking some debate.
Yeah, we got like 3 to 4 shoes to talk about.
Yep. So let's start with this debate. Let's start with the debate that we've been having.
All right.
So in the reselling world, there are shortcut acronym terms. You know, you have DS means dead stock. PADS, pads, means pass as dead stock. Dead stock, by the way, for anybody not listening, dead stock means like new, brand new condition, never worn, has all the original like accessories and everything that's in the box. Nothing's missing.
What about
OG
the
all,
tags?
original,
Hey,
everything.
that's a good
Yeah.
debate. Is DS and DSWT, like, does it really matter?
To me, I said DSWT is WT with tags, and to me, DS means DS with tags. If it's like, because if it doesn't have something, then to me it's not DS anymore. It's used, and that's where we
The
kind of
thing
get into this
is,
debate.
you only say DSWT with clothes, so I think like that obviously is important. But like Yeezys is the only shoe that I can think of right now that has tags, and if you put a dead stock, never worn pair of Yeezys in StockX without tags, it'll pass.
Yeah, true.
It will or it won't.
Yeah,
Yeah, it will. Mm-hmm.
So, no, it will.
What? I
Yeah.
thought it would. Okay. Well, I didn't think it would.
Yeah, it will.
And the other thing so what me and Mason were debating was pads versus VNDS, which is very near dead stock. And Mason, give your take on this before I continue.
Ooh, I don't know, man. I hate VNDS. I don't know why. And Mateo and I, we do not see eye to eye on this. And I just feel like VNDS should just completely get rid of. Because for me, it's so much less definitive. And it's like, I have seen so many different forms of VNDS. And like
that
pads. Yeah, anyways. Don't say VNDS to me, ever.
Okay, there being like a ton of different versions of VNDS, I don't like either, because some people will wear it like 3 times and just say that because there's no creasing or anything and just the bottoms are dirty, it's VNDS. Other people say that VNDS is like tried on in the store and like it might be dirty, but it still has tags or like something.
I just say 9.5 out of 10, and then I say either worn once, worn twice, or tried on. Like, I get people, the reason we have this acronym VNDS is to save that, but it's just so misused, I feel like. And I feel like pads, I don't use pads that often either, but I just feel like it's more definitive, and I would rather people say pads if it actually is pads than just saying VNDS on everything.
And then I agree with what you're saying. I just think that pads should not be used, because if the term is pass as DS, like it will pass as dead stock, then it, like, in my eyes, you're lying to the customer. Like, it's not dead stock, but you're saying like, well, you can fake it.
Dude, you're being
like
transparent. You're saying if you get this to StockX, you'll get your money. But
you're not being transparent to StockX. And like nobody cares about StockX, but like let's just say you're selling it to a customer. Like what you're saying is like, I'll sell it to you and it will pass as DS, so you could sell it as DS. But like for me, it's just like it's either DS or it's not. Very near dead stock says that it's close, but I don't like the variations that people use with it.
I feel like when people sell pads to another reseller, they're not doing it so that reseller can sell it as DS. I feel like it's more like as they have StockX or Go, and that's like their reference. But when you're selling to a consumer and you say pads, that's a good explanation of the condition. And I feel like when people say VNDS, sometimes they can either downplay it or whatever. It's much less definitive to me. That's my take.
Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, what's your thoughts?
I had something like this. Like, I had a pair of Off-White Michigan Dunks come in, and the dude was like, these are pads, right? And I was like, okay, cool. They come in, and they have the tags on and everything. And, like, you can't even tell that they've been worn. So I'm not even going to say pads. I'm going to say DS, because they still have the tags on. And there was zero way, like, that anybody could tell that they were worn. And so, like, the dude told me, which was cool. But I was like, I'm going to take advantage of this, like, opportunity and, like, maximize my profit, because they literally look DS. And anyone who who like buys him his DS will be happy. So I don't know.
I'm
I
on
think
board with that. I'm
VNDS.
completely on board with that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I would do that. I would do that too, but like if I try on a shoe in the store and I don't walk around, I just like try it on, see how it fits. It's been tried on. It's now PADS, but I'm still just gonna sell it as dead stock. Like,
Right.
you can't. I'm not even gonna be like, oh, you can't tell that I tried it on. Like, that's not the point. Like, it's never been worn. It kind of depends how much dust is on the bottom, but like, it's kind of a situational thing. I try to stay away from both of these.
Yeah, exactly.
But in my opinion,
Yeah,
I don't like PADS more than I don't like.
I feel like
VNDS.
exactly. Yeah.
I agree with what Mason is saying, and I think VNDS would be like a way better term to use if people didn't lie so much about it. And I guess, I mean, they're not intentionally lying, but it's such an objective term that people can make a mistake or whatever. And so yeah, I hate using VNDS. Like if I'm gonna say something is like pads, like I'll usually say VNDS because I mean I don't really like using pads that much. So
yeah, I'm not necessarily advocating to use pads or VNDS necessarily. Just like in the grand scheme of things, VNDS versus pads, I'm all for pads over VNDS.
I'm not gonna lie, I use VNDS to describe this like pair of Jordan 4s that came in, and it's because when this dude sent me the pictures, he was selling them as used, and I thought they were new, and he told me, he's like, no, they're used. And then when they came in, I could barely, like, you had to squint to see that it was like dusty.
Yeah,
and that's not passed as dead stock, but to me that's very near dead stock because it took me a while to figure out. But so I was using very near dead stock. That's like the only time that I've used it. Other than that, I try to like.
Yeah.
Since then, I just try to do DS or like 9.9 out of 10 condition.
Exactly.
Because I feel like that's even more definitive than using the pads and VNDS.
Yeah, in that situation, I'd say 9.5 out of 10 tried on once or something, or worn once.
Yeah.
Because you saw the Yeezys that I just got in. They have some dirt in between the grooves on the bottom. Other than that, completely brand new. And so I'm not going to say pads because obviously that's not pads. And I don't want to say VNDS because I just am not for VNDS. So I said 9.5 out of 10 worn once. And you're just being completely the most transparent you can be, I feel like.
I just don't like when people say like 8.5 out of 10 and then the bottoms are all
that's
yellow.
where it starts getting subjective again.
Like, I mean, most people are fine with it. And like, you're going to see the pictures too.
You can, and you can,
like,
it's not like you can decide for yourself.
But it's kind of crazy because you have like a 1 to 10 scale for a reason. Yet everybody has a different 1 to 10 scale apparently, and
yeah,
I don't know. So if you're listening to this podcast, let us know. We'll probably let's post a poll on our Instagram, and we'll post, what do you hate more, PADS or VNDS? And I'm very curious. I feel like most people are gonna hate VNDS more too, but
my favorite is when someone says VNDS.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, what?
I would rather, what I would rather have is PADS and NDS, no VNDS. Just it's close, like it's close, but it's not like it's that VNDS is just like
I've seen NDS.
Yeah, I've seen I would like to use NDS more than VNDS, but I feel like VNDS is it's more common.
All right, everyone, hop on the NDS wave.
Oh, I saw something really weird one time. It was like DSNL. I was like, what? And it was like, he's like, oh, just so you guys know, on the next story, he was like, no, NL equals no lid.
Yeah.
I was like, I've never seen that before. But I mean, it's kind of smart if you like go to the outlets and stuff, like DSNL.
Another thing that I've always remembered is like in high school when we started this thing, Mason, and it was literally like our first week with this account, we were posting everything. People were like, what does this stuff mean? So I try to like, unless like on my story at least, I try not to say DS or like use like all these terms. I try to like spell it out for all the consumers that don't really follow like the reselling wave like we do. Like they're not gonna know what VNDS is or DSNL. Like I'll just say brand new no lid, or like I'll like literally spell it out for them, make it as obvious as we can. But the acronyms help when you're trying to keep it short. But
between resellers,
I always try to keep in mind. Yeah. And I mean, if you don't know, if you're watching our story, if any of you guys are listening, you're watching any of our stories at M&M Resell or Seattle Hype Plug, you don't know what acronym means, just ask us. It's not a big deal. We'll tell you. We'll explain what it means to you. Not a ton of people. If I tell you what dead stock, some people don't even know what dead stock means, and it's totally fine. Like, it's just like this term that we've coined to make our lives easier.
Right.
So. But now, if you're listening to this podcast, you should know now. There's probably some more terms that we haven't hit and whatever. I'm trying to think of a segue. Sometimes I just can't think of a segue. Let's talk the spreadsheets. Let's talk about the spreadsheets. I had this question a while ago and we still haven't gone to it. It's How is your spreadsheet organized? Me and Mason have a same spreadsheet. We've put ours in sync, but I want to let Alex go first because he was talking about, he wanted to talk about his spreadsheet.
So, wait, do you guys use like Microsoft Excel or like Google Sheets?
We use Google Sheets.
Okay.
It's just easier for us to share.
That's what most people use, I feel like.
It works the same, really. Hey guys, it's Mateo. I'm currently editing this podcast, and around this point, Alex's car seems to be hitting a few bumps in the road, and the audio is just not that usable. But basically, he says that he's seen some pretty cool stuff in terms of the spreadsheets, like when people color code them, but he says that his isn't. But his starts off with date purchased, date received,
and then the item, who I got it from, size, color, price, shipping cost, and then total cost, which adds the price and shipping cost together. And then I taught myself how to like code a little bit inside of Excel. Well, I guess my mom taught me. Yep. So I have like the auto calculation of the profit, which I'm sure most have. But if I type in StockX or like go on my like site, like where I sold the shoe, it automatically calculates the resale fees. So whatever the 8.5% commission.
Dang,
that's sauce.
Right, I like once I got it working, I was like, damn. And then the PayPal fee, of course, I auto calculate that, and I've been using it ever since I started.
Yeah, for sure. That's dope. I like that. I like the auto calculating stuff for sure. We use that too, and I'll get into it. It's a little bit different, but we use this kind of auto calculating thing. Before I even go into how ours is, I commend Alex for his spreadsheet work. I don't know if his mom can hear you, but tell your mom that you guys are doing a great job with the organization thing.
He says that we're doing a great job with our spreadsheet.
Great.
But yeah, spreadsheets are super, super important. I didn't start making my spreadsheet until maybe like 6 months. I knew I needed one, and I was like, I don't even know if I'm gonna like continue to do this, so I didn't make one for about 6 months. And when I did, it sucked. I had to go back in and probably put in like 130 entries, go back all my photos, all my like Venmo transactions, and try to get all the numbers right. And it took me a while, but it's definitely worth it. For long-term use, you can track your history, all that stuff. Me and Mason's used to be a little different in the past, but we've since not merged our spreadsheets, but we use the same format now. So we go from left to right. We go date purchased, the item, the size, condition when we bought it, where we bought it from, and how much we paid in total. I don't really worry about like adding shipping fees. I just worry about like how much goes out the first time. Then we go total sale price, so what the buyer pays after, like what they pay after shipping and everything, who it's sold to. Then I have a separate column. So Alex has like the Excel calculates fees for him. I just like manually put in the fees, so I have a column that's for shipping costs and fees and anything that needs to be taken care of. And then after that, it's the amount retained, so how much I get back. And then a profit column. And then the date that I sold it. And then I have like a notes column if I need to, and a status column. The status column is my favorite column because like Alex does the auto calculations, we do an auto calculation, but it's not with numbers. So Alex said that he doesn't color code his. We color code ours. So, and it helps because we're in college. So I don't know if Alex, if you might want to start implementing this, but because we're in college and we're away from home, I have some inventory in LA at Long Beach where I go to college. Mason has, when he's in school, he has some inventory in San Luis Obispo. So we color code like just for example, this Jordan 4, it's in Gilroy with me. So it's color coded green for Gilroy. If it's in Long Beach, I color code it yellow, just so I know where it is. And then in the status column, I put G for Gilroy or I put LB for Long Beach. And I have a separate tab that's called current. So if we go to my current spreadsheet, if the status column says G for Gilroy, the item name will automatically pop up in the current column. So I have a current inventory stock list that updates itself, basically, if that makes sense.
That's cool.
And then there's one for Long Beach. And then I just made another one for holds, because if I send this, it's helpful because I can just screenshot the whole current list and not have to worry about anything else that's already been sold. And I can just send it to somebody if they want to see like everything that we have.
Because we get lots of DMs of people asking for our stock list, and we literally just screenshot that and send it to them.
Yeah, it makes it so much easier. And I recently implemented an H in there, like the code is like H for holding, so that there's a separate list for holds, so that people don't have to ask about, like they won't even see it. But I have it, and it's like ready for sale, but I'm not selling it just yet. And then it's like this thing, like spreadsheet is probably the most important.
You can do some crazy stuff with it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still learning and like doing all this stuff, but like, like I turn, if it's in transit, I turn it red. If it's dark red, that means it's incoming to me. So I bought something, it's on its way, it's in the mail. Light red,
I like
it's
that
outgoing.
too. The outgoing
So,
versus
like,
incoming versus in stock. I like that too.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool if like you can make it so you could enter the tracking number and then it change color depending on like where it was. That would be sick. If you guys could figure out how to do that with Google, that'd be fire.
There's so many like ideas that everybody has with their spreadsheets. It's amazing how creative you can get with spreadsheets. And I'm telling you, if you're thinking about starting a reselling business or like just something small, it doesn't matter how small it is, you need to keep track of your stuff. A spreadsheet is an essential. Okay. Another thing that I love, I have another tab. It's called Profit by Month.
Yeah, so I was gonna say you gotta bring up that too.
That one's amazing because what is it called? It's called a pivot table. So it's basically like an XY chart that it makes for you. So it references the date sold column. So anything that's sold, for example, in July of 2020, it adds up the profit column for anything that was sold in July 2020. So when I go to my table in my profit by month column, it tells me how much I made in July. And then next to it, there's like a graph, and it shows me like how much I've made this month. And it's super easy to set up. Yeah, so it's a pivot table is like the XY, and then you can have the bar graph. You can set up a bar graph to reference the XY chart. Everybody does this differently. I don't suggest to like just copy ours, but if you guys like any of these ideas that we have or that Alex has, I really like the fee calculator thing. That one's helpful.
That's cool.
But feel free to DM us. This isn't like a secret. I'm sure, I know me and Mason are willing, and I'm sure Alex is willing to help you guys out setting up your spreadsheets and giving you some. We're not expert coders, but like it doesn't take long to put in the little code to do all this stuff.
It would be cool to get someone that knows coding to do that. Get on the spreadsheet and prove that. And
the tracking number would be amazing too. You just imagine like putting the tracking number in. And
how would that work though? Because it needs to go inside the link, right?
I don't know. Like get it to reference the like USPS, for example, the tracking thing, and then once it says delivered, it just color codes it, and the color goes away.
The thing about that though is that you need to input the tracking number.
Still, that's a one-time thing, and then it just handles the rest for you.
Yeah, that's why we use Pirate Ship.
Because what if
shout out to Pirate Ship real quick, sponsor me, free labels, please. All right.
Actually,
Pirate Ship is solid.
That could be a good topic too to talk about Pirate Ship because.
Well,
a lot of people don't know how Pirate Ship makes money and how they can afford to give people, like discounted packages. That could be another thing we could talk about.
Yeah, that is interesting. And also, there's a whole thing going around with like Pirate Ship, like sending packages back or like cracking down and like charging your account a little bit more when it's underweight or something. That's a whole other thing. We might have to save that for another day, but yeah, Basically, spreadsheets are immaculate. Make one, it's not that hard. It'll get more complex as you move on, but like
Do it now, because you don't want to do it when you have 100 sales under your belt. And you have to put
don't do what I did.
Unknown value. I have a few where it's just unknown value.
Yeah, I still have to go back and find some. And I used to not do it down to the cent, and I recently changed it. So I'm still actually in the process of going back and changing all my dollars to cents where I need to. So I need to find all my old receipts. I'm literally almost 600 rows deep. So,
and this Mins is dedicated to his spreadsheet.
I'm on this thing all day. And if you're wondering, I feel like there's some people that are wondering, what's the most important thing in a spreadsheet? If I'm making a spreadsheet, what's the thing that I need to have? You need to have the item, how much you paid, and how much you sold for it. That's the most basic spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I think that's the most essential, if anybody would disagree.
Yep.
The more you can add, the more helpful it's going to be long term, because
as you get more sales in, it's more important to dedicate more time to it, saying who you're selling to, the date it's selling and buying. And then I also like keeping track of high offers. I know Mateo doesn't do high offers on his products as much. I
actually have started putting that.
Most of the time I go in and manually put that in.
Yeah. I've started to utilize that too. It's good because when you have so much stuff and it's hard to keep track of who's offering on your item, where your stuff is going to, all that stuff.
Do you guys keep track of per month? You just do monthly and then you have it a yearly chart, or do you just have it all on one chart and then, I know, Mateo, you have the graph stuff going on. So you only have that one yearly chart. For me, I track profit per month, and then I put it into a master spreadsheet, which is per year. So I know how much I make per month, and I can kind of look at a yearly overview after that year is finished and after each month is finished.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering what you guys do.
Yeah, so that's basically how the profit by month thing works. I don't have a separate one for the year, but what I do right now, if I'm just looking at it, it has 2019 January, 2019 February, all the way down to December. I just highlight it all, and then it'll add it up for me, and it tells me how much. But I don't have a report. I just kind of look at it and tell the computer to add it up for me.
Mm-hmm.
I can look at it that way.
Right.
I have another one for revenue, and then I have one chart for revenue and I have one chart for profits.
Gotcha.
But it's pretty interesting to look at. Also, if you're gonna make a spreadsheet, make sure that when you sell on StockX or something, just for everybody listening, if you're gonna sell an item for $150, you don't get $150. So don't put $150 into your spreadsheet. That's just gonna be misleading for you and how much money you actually have. You have to account for the fees. Seems simple, but you just can't forget about that, because otherwise it's just going to be super inaccurate.
Do we have a person, an app for who asked that?
No, I don't. This was before I kept track.
Whoever asked that, I appreciate it. And make sure you guys keep submitting questions for us to talk about, because I like that one.
If there's a question that you want to know, it's going to be beneficial to other people, I promise.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if you've been doing this for a day or 5 years. We're all learning together.
Yep.
Next thing, Mason brought this up.
Oh, yeah.
Most embarrassing reselling
moment.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mason.
Oh, we're going to just go right into it?
Yeah, go ahead. Tell your story.
Okay, most embarrassing reselling moment. This is within... How many months were we in? Less than half a year, probably?
Yeah, about 6-7 months.
So this is when the cause tees, not they first dropped, but a few weeks after that when they restocked at the mall.
It was in
And
August.
I don't know if this guy that I sold these shirts to still follows us or what, but we got a ton of those cause tees. It was a cookout, and they were sick. I'm so glad that we did that. And you can make easy money flipping these shirts. And so...
We more than doubled our money, I think. We got
easy.
2, I think.
Especially after the... you would wait before the restock. You wouldn't sell it right after. Whatever. It was... Yeah, that was a sick drop. And so we had someone that was interested in one of the designs. And I don't know if you guys know the Cause X Uniqlo designs. Some of them are kind of similar. There's the blue BFF and there's the blue... what was it? It was just blue BFF and blue friend or something like that.
There was a Gone.
Yeah, so there's one with a white t-shirt and a blue guy, or a blue shirt and another guy. and this guy DM'd us asking me for one of my cause tees, one over the other, and I ended up packaging the shirt, shipped it out, got it to him, said sold, and realized, oh, that is not the blue BFF tee. That's the Gone tee or something like that. And so I had to scramble.
It was like once it got there.
No, it didn't even get there yet. So because I had to DM the guy, and I was like, "Yo, I sent you the wrong shirt. Can you like send it back or something?" And so what we ended up doing was he was cool with it. He was really cool about it, and I sent him the other shirt, but I had to lower the price so much just to like, because he was pretty much in power at this situation. Like I was just completely leaving it up to him, and so I sold it for like probably $10 less than I wanted to. But we got the ref. He said that the transaction was a little rocky, but went through. And yeah, that was probably my most embarrassing reselling moment, I gotta say. And this was all I remember this clearly too. I was at the gym, and I was just standing in the gym typing furiously, trying to figure this out.
I've got quite a few, but I guess, well, I'll tell a couple. So one was I was at SneakerCon. I was in SneakerCon Vancouver. It was my first SneakerCon, and I like traded for a pair of like utility black 500s, and they looked fine. Like I didn't really, it was early in my reselling career, so I wasn't really too worried about legit checking stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were like a bunch of people at my table like looking and stuff, and the kid that I sold the 500s to came up to me. He was like, "Hey, like I just got these checked out. Like they're fake." And there's all these people here like standing in front of my table, and I just feel so bad. And so I have to go back to the legit check booth and like count out all of this like these Canadian just like racks because the exchange rate is like pretty high. And so like I had to refund him like 400 Canadian just like in front of all these people. It was terrible. And then I've also like shipped a few things to people who are at apartments or like condos, and I forget to put the apartment number or like condo number or whatever, and so it just gets returned back to me, and they're like, "Yo, like what the heck? Like it's back at your house." I'm like, "Oh, I forget." Like I don't see why they don't just like drop it off at, like a front desk or something, but I don't know. That's pretty embarrassing.
Damn.
But I've also shipped the wrong items too, kind of like the difference or the cost.
Yeah, I mean that I mean it's common, man. When you're first starting out, you just gotta acknowledge that you're gonna make mistakes. It's gonna happen.
Right, mistakes.
Yep.
I'm trying to think, because I've definitely had like bad moments in reselling. But what was the worst? I had like a few like small ones, but they're not even worthy. Like I'm still embarrassed about the whole scam thing.
Yeah.
That we talked about. I think it was on episode 6.
Yeah. With West Coast
Cords. I mean, like small stuff, like buying a ton of like Bread 11 Lows or Fire Reds when I thought they were gonna do well, and I just wasted so much time and money. And ended up returning like top threes. So many top threes, and I just returned all of them except one.
That happens. That's a brick.
Not exactly like embarrassing, but like kind of on the lines that I really love the story when me and Mason went to SneakerCon last year, and Mason had sold me an undefeated like basketball jersey.
Oh.
And then I had sold it, and then I had like traded it away at the SneakerCon, and then 6 hours later it gets into somebody else's hands, and they come back to us, and they trade it back to, like, I had traded them something else. So then I'd got the same jersey that I'd traded back earlier, and Mason had, like, kept it, and he didn't want it, so then he sold it to me originally. And then after we went home from SneakerCon, he was like, actually, I kind of want it back. And so I sold it back to Mason. So this jersey had done this whole loop through Mason, me, like, 5 other people, and went right back to Mason, and everybody had made money.
Yeah.
Like, it was like a big circle, and everybody had profited somehow on it. Like, that's not, like, exactly embarrassing, but it's, like, I don't know, it's kind of cool.
I still have that in my closet. I can show you right now.
Because I remember because it was like when we were going off to college, he's like, "Oh, this would be sick for college. I want it back." And he had bought it like 8 months before.
Mhm.
And when he got it and sold it to me, he was like, "Bro, I hate this. This isn't gonna sell. Like, you want it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll sell it."
Yeah, and then that was a jersey that I thrifted. That's another topic.
Yeah.
You guys, thrifting is not that bad.
Bro, we tried thrifting like what 2 or 3 times already, and we found some good stuff, but like we don't know anything about. We don't know enough about it to make good money on it. I think.
Yeah, you gotta like be confident in what you're buying.
Alex, you ever thrift?
I mean, not really. Like, the only ones around me are like Ross and Value Village, and they don't really get that cool stuff. And like, they don't have stuff that has like the boxes and whatever. And any heat will be like size 18, and so it's just like that's automatically a brick. Like anything that's
facts.
that
Yeah.
big.
Marshalls.
When you go, yeah, exactly, Marshalls.
Yeah, but for me, I just like selling stuff quick, and so I don't really like the whole brick thing. And so I mean, thrifting is fun. Like sometimes if you can find like crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more for fun, I'd say.
Yeah.
If you know what you're doing, you can make profit easy. You can make profit easy if you know who you're buying for and what to buy. But for me, I don't know what I'm doing most of the time. I'm doing it for fun for the most part.
Wait, Mateo, what happened with West Coast Courts? Because you just said something with him, and he's cool. I like him.
Oh. No, he's definitely cool. We just like in that episode with West Coast Chords, we had talked about scamming, and so we didn't get scammed by each other. We were just talking about scamming with them on that episode.
Okay.
But yeah, they're chill.
Yes, follow West Coast Chords, follow Eminem, follow
Seattle High Plug.
everyone. Exactly.
Yep.
On the Eminem podcast.
Everyone that we've interviewed, go back and follow them.
We'll drop some incentives because we're gonna next season we're gonna try and get more giveaways and incentives in the podcast.
Yeah, that'll be really fun. So we did kind of blow through those topics pretty quickly, which is good because now we have time to talk about good investments. We haven't really talked about upcoming releases. We haven't been able to talk about upcoming releases in the past because we spent so much time like doing all this, like talking through other topics.
Yep.
What do you want to start? We want to start with the satin snake skins.
All right.
What do you think on them? What do you think the price is gonna go?
I think it's a cool shoe. It's low stock. I didn't see that many W's, and usually when I don't see that many W's, that means either the same people have them, like botters, like just destroyed it and they're gonna hold on to them, or they're gonna sell to both the people who are holding. And so I think that it's a fine investment. I mean, I'm not really into shoe investments, but I mean, I think if I were to be in it, I think I would probably buy a few pairs of the snake skins.
Yeah, these even for quick flippers, they have very good profit margins. If you're paying $170 retail plus tax, I think they're going for about $280-ish around there.
Yeah,
$260 to $300, depending on the size. It's a women's size range, so probably the bigger sizes are probably going for more like 10 women's.
It's
to 12.
the bigger sizes and the smaller sizes.
Is that what it is?
I believe.
So yeah, I was actually able to get a pair. I was actually able to get a size 8. I had done like a pay after success slot with someone. And I sold it to some dude before it even came in. It's not even in yet, and I sold it to him for like $310, and that's just where StockX was at the time. But I didn't want to hold because kind of what I had said on a previous podcast, like if I can sell it before it even comes in and before the market corrects itself, I will sell it. But I'm skeptical because of the whole, remember like a year ago when the satin black toes dropped and everybody was paying like $450 a pair?
That's
and
what
trying
I
to
was
hold
gonna
it.
say.
They dropped like $100 and then have just recently only surpassed that $450 from like a year and a half ago.
I'd say, yeah,
and
exactly.
That's not the only thing to compare it to, but given that they're both women's sizing, they're both the same color scheme, they're not. They're actually these snakeskins are actually not satin, but they're called satin
Yeah.
red or something. But I don't know. If anything, I'm comparing it to that, and that was like one of the only Jordan 1 investments that just did really bad. Like it tanked. Like I've never seen a Jordan tank like that before.
I mean,
Okay, weren't bigger sizes at like 800? Like I remember
At one point,
considering buying a pair at like 800, and then I was like, thank God I did it. Like literally days before it crashed.
yeah, that's why I don't know if these are that great of a hold. I mean, I'm not a big fan of holding in myself, even like with anything. But for these, yeah, like seeing what happened with those satins, if I had landed a pair, I would not be hold. I would have tried to do exactly what Mateo did. And I feel like with the margins that you're working with, 310 or whatever you did to sell, I feel like I would just take that. Because I'm not a huge fan of holding, and based on the pre-sales and all of that, that's like you just take your money.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull up some of this data from the old satin.
I also
stuff.
just am not
It's
a
crazy.
fan of these at all either.
You
I
don't
think
like the snakeskin?
they're ugly. They're ugly, bro.
I think they're okay.
They're ugly.
I think they're okay. But okay, so look at this data from the snakeskin. So late July, early August 2019. This is a size 11 women, so one of the bigger ones. So this is a 9.5 in men's. It went started at 700 and went 800, 1,000, 1,050, and then when was the release date? The release date was August 17th. So this was all pre-sale market, and then August 17th comes around, it still goes up, and then September 9th, 970, September 20th, 780, and by November it was at 500. And then 5 months later in March, it was at 400, and now it's at
500.
like 500.
Yeah, so it took
again.
a year for
And
it
it's
to
been-
recover from the dip.
It still hasn't even if you bought it on release day and even the couple weeks after release, couple months, in October, it was still at 700.
Yeah. So I mean, you're
Imagine
still
you were
making
paying that much.
insane profit if you have the shoe for retail and you hold it. You're still making so much money, and that's why I know some people that were passing on the shoe, which that's a hot take, but because you could just
For snakeskins or the old satins?
no, for the snakeskins.
Okay.
And you're still making profit. Profit is profit. So
yeah. People have differing opinions. I don't really know what to think about these. I'm just comparing it to that one, but that's not the only thing.
It'd be interesting to compare all of the women's satin shoes that have released, because my first actually no, I had Ghost. Do you guys know Ghost the bot?
I think
No.
The sneakers bot.
I don't.
So now they have Phantom, which does foot size and stuff. I used to be pretty big into botting and stuff, but they had Ghost, which was a sneakers bot before they completely figured out how to ban all those sneakers bots, so they don't work anymore. But I used that, and I got the orange satin. You guys know about those, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got those, and it was a smaller size. This was when I was only 5 or 6 months into reselling. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna hold on to these, see how they do. In 2 months they had went down $100. So I don't know, maybe it's just a satin curse.
Yeah.
They're just destined to go down.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now. Still size 11. It looks like, when did they release? They released in May of 2018. So after the release, they went down a little bit, and then on release day, they're 600, 650, and then 550 a couple weeks later, and then down to the lowest was 470.
Yeah.
And right now they're at somewhere between 600 and $1,000. So that's a lot longer, but I don't know what it is with satins. I mean, they're always super limited. They're always super expensive.
Yeah.
It's just that I don't know why they're calling these new ones satins. They're not satin. They're snakeskin and leather.
Yeah, one thing is that it is Chicago, a Chicago colorway, but
Yeah.
Well, overall,
I don't know what it is. It's
overall, it's your money, it's your opinions. You can do whatever you want, but
weird.
personally, I'm not going to buy. And if I had them, I would not be holding. But we'll see. I might be completely proven wrong in a month or whatever, 6 months. So if you like the shoe, you think that it'll go up. That's all you.
Another release we have coming up, I think this comes out on the 14th or the 15th, is the Jordan 1 Zoom Zen Green. We've seen the first edition of the Jordan 1 Zoom with the Fearless pack, and it's all reflective material. Then we saw the ones that everybody was calling the fake. We saw the fake Dior's.
Yeah.
And then now we're getting a black and green. This one actually, I believe, released overseas a while ago, but due to coronavirus, it got pushed back in the U.S. So now it's finally coming out. I'm going to check the release date, but it's coming out soon, like this weekend, I think.
I loved the translucent one that you had. Those were nice.
Yeah, the Racer Blues.
And so, does the Zoom cushioning make it more comfortable, or is that just some more product placement for Nike?
I didn't try it on, but I would assume
so.
But that's also why a lot of people don't like it.
Because it's not original. It's not as retro.
Yeah. I think we talked about this in our pilot episode.
It's not as retro with the Zoom.
Popping,
and personally, I'm not a huge fan of the green either.
No, I don't like it either.
Color blocking is not great on this one. But how did the first Zooms do? I know the translucent ones did great, but
no, well, the translucent ones did trash for like 2 months, and then they shot up like $150.
Yep.
But like, I'm still gonna go for these green ones. It's so like it's kind of unpredictable. I'm also, again, I'm not that experienced with long-term holds, but I see this going up a little bit, but like more than the reflective Fearless, but not as much as the Racer Blue, just because like it's just not as attractive as of a colorway as the Racer Blues. But I mean, it's still a Jordan 1, retail at $175 probably because of the Zoom unit. Very interesting. It's like black, mostly black with a green toe, a green midsection, and a silver swoosh that might be reflective. They still have the translucent bottom. I love the gradient on there. I'm not sure if this swoosh is reflective, but
it looks like it. Yeah. I mean, some of the detailing is nice, and I always liked the soles on these ones. Pre-sales aren't doing fantastic, but if you have faith in the shoe and Nike has free returns, you can go for it, right?
Yeah. It's weird. This little stitch, they have like 2 little stitches on the outside that I've never seen before on a Jordan 1, and it looks pretty interesting. I don't really know how to describe it. It's like right where the midsection changes from black to green, there's like 1 stitch. And it's I don't think that helps. I don't think that helps aesthetically. It doesn't help its case.
And they're mixing up, it looks like suede and leather. Is that what it is?
Maybe, probably.
Yeah. So personally,
the green suede and black leather.
Out of the three Zooms, I don't know, but not.
This is second. This is second for me.
But so I'm going
Racer
in terms
Blues
of
first.
investments, what do you think?
I see it maybe not too much above retail when you first get it, and maybe wait a couple months to hit it like 240, 250, maybe like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
So
it's hit or miss, man, because some of the Fearless
I still think it's a good buy. I still think someone will buy it.
Yeah. I mean, people are always looking for ones and cheap Jordans, so it's hit or miss because the Fearless ones are still sitting in store, right?
Yeah, and those released so long ago. February? No, before February. Holiday season?
December.
Alex, what do you think about the green Zoom ones?
Ugly. I don't like them at all. I don't like green on shoes. Actually, I do like the pine greens for the off-white dunks. That's the only time I'll tolerate.
Okay.
The 1.0s or the 2.0s, or both of them?
I like the 1.0. I don't like the green with the black. Like, green and black, in my mind, just like doesn't. They're too similar.
It's gross.
You know? It's gross. I just don't think they go together. Yeah, it's like a swamp. It's like a swamp shoe.
That's another thing, too. For the people that actually like the green, they might go with the Zooms as a more accessible, cheaper version of the pine greens if they couldn't get those. But maybe. I still think people would pay the extra for the pines. But someone will buy these. Someone will buy the ones.
Yep.
Let's see. What's the next one? Probably be the last one. With the, you want to talk about the metallic fours?
Yeah, sure. Let's go. Those I love. I love the metallic fours. The purple is so clean. And they also, so they had 4. They had the purple, green, orange, red. They released it as like a per location, and the purple,
Like it was like a regional
Yeah.
thing, but it wasn't like as defined. It was like semi-regional.
right.
We talked about that before
Right.
too, but anyways. And then, do you know what, Mason? Do you know what happened with what's happening like upcoming?
Yeah, so they're releasing the orange and the greens, right, in the US.
Yeah, and it's weird. Like the way I've seen it is like it's on Foot Locker's website as upcoming release, but it's only in store. And I know LA is getting them. I haven't really heard of anywhere else, but like it's been really quiet. Like they're just kind of, you had to do the reservation through the app thing. I don't really know what stores are releasing them. None in the Bay Area. They're not even open. Maybe San Francisco, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
At least over here, like most of our Foot Lockers are in malls, so we can't even go get them because the malls are closed. But it's very interesting. Now, like they're releasing it like 3 months later, and I am scared that they're gonna release a red one. They haven't said anything about it, but I hope they don't release a red one because the red one was like the most rare one, I think, and I think it was in EU only. And one of my boys hooked it up with a red one for me, so I'm just holding on to a red one.
Those are clean.
And those are my favorite.
Red Jordan anything.
But I'm holding on to them because I thought that they were the most limited. Yeah. Oh, speaking of limited, I just wanted to bring up the satin snakeskin Chicago's. I saw, just real quick, I saw like a graphic that had like the Yeezy Mafia graphic and like the production numbers for all the 350 V2s and how like the Black Friday ones were the most limited. But the stock number for the satin snakeskins was even lower than any of the Black Friday colorways, which I thought was crazy. Anyways, the metallics. I just see the green and orange ones releasing. I'm pretty sure the orange ones were in Australia, and I'm pretty sure the green ones were Asia.
I have no idea.
Or something.
But yeah, that
and
makes
like
sense.
overlap with like Canada or something. I don't know. The regional, when they did these originally, the regions weren't like defined or anything like they do with Yeezys. But like purple was like the most widely released one, and it was all over the US, and it was like a GR.
So yeah, these are cool, and they're coming up soon. But I don't know if I'm gonna go after them. I mean, I'm gonna go after them.
I don't know if we can.
Are they? They're not releasing on
we
sneakers
can.
or something. They're not.
I don't know I don't think they're releasing online. At least for Foot Locker, it says in store only. In terms of pricing, the greens and the oranges are doing pretty well, but they're not like out of this world.
Yeah.
Like they're all like all 4 colors are somewhere between like 250 and 300, but like it's only like certain sizes and like it's just kind of random. I don't think like this isn't worth driving all the way down to LA to go pick up a pair.
It depends.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it depends how much they release and the availability of it really. Because if they become as available as the purple metallics, you're gonna have to wait a while because how the market went for the purple metallics was like so it could potentially go down, and it's not like there's a ton of room right now to work with for these.
Are purple metallics still like reselling at retail? Because I know I had a pair on consignment. Did they go up?
Yeah, they're at like 240, 260 now.
250 and up for the most part.
It took, I'm like, I sold all of mine before, and I was glad I did because I mean, it's gone up now, but it's taken too long to go up, so I'm glad I had sold it back then. But
those are clean though. I mean, just Jordan 4s in general are so clean. So
yeah, and I love metallic colors and white. Some people just don't like the white though. Like
I don't know, man.
They want black.
I think we talked about this in the.
It's like pure money type.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we talked about this in the episode where we talked about investing in the purple metallics, and like I could see people wanting to collect all 4 colors.
Oh yeah. Plus the pure monies too, all 5.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
those are clean.
Yeah. I mean, exciting, but also I'm just like a little bit confused. Like, why?
I'm confused.
You have some
Honestly,
left over. Does Nike have some left over, or like, I don't know. If you can get your hands on these, get them. because retail is pretty low. It's only at 190.
Yeah.
So it'd be good money. They're super sauce. If you want to hold them for a while, they're. We talked about this again too. I think because it's a regional, it'll go up faster than the Pure Monies did. But the Pure Monies were on sale for a while, so that was 3 years ago.
Yeah. I see those all the time on Instagram now.
The Pure Monies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all like beak. They're all like beak pairs, like yellow. It's disgusting.
Disgusting.
But I wanted a pair a while ago too, but I just can't wear Jordans. I'm too small. But yeah.
Well, we got the Bel Airs coming up too.
Oh yeah.
Those.
Do you want to have time to talk about those?
We just cover it quickly. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, personally, I didn't watch whatever Prince of Bel Air or whatever.
What I love that show.
I know people are gonna rip me apart, but I didn't watch it. But it's a cool. It's a cool shoe. But in terms of resale value, I haven't looked into it a ton. But I feel like fives have been really tough this year. So
I just have too much PTSD from the top 3 fives. I'll probably go for like 1 or 2 pairs of these Bel Airs.
Well, how many?
And try to quick.
How are the original Bel Airs doing? Because isn't there multiple?
They're a lot. I just had a pair. They're going for a lot. Yes, like 350.
Yeah. So who knows?
Oh, here. Yeah, on StockX, it's the alternate Bel Airs, but on Nike app, it says Ghost Green. They're going for like 260, 280.
Yeah, I mean, they're cool.
Yeah, the inside stock liner's got the whole like 80s vibe in it. That's kind of cool. All these like neon colors, but it's built together and it doesn't really like it's not too outrageous, you know. It's a nice execution they got.
Yep.
And you know I love that 23 on the heel.
Yeah, I was just going to say. So,
retail price of 200 though for this one.
Yeah, but I'm going to definitely go after them for sure.
Yeah, I will too. For most Jordans that aren't Jordan 1s, it's probably better to go after bigger sizes, like 11 to 12, maybe 10 and a half. Just because, like, I mean, more bigger dudes like to wear the stuff. But this is also, like, not a girly shoe, but, like, this is a shoe that a lot of girls, I think, would like. So I think you can go for any size for these ones. It's just, they're just kind of unpredictable for me.
Right.
Because I thought the top 3s were going to do super well. But then other Bel Airs have done really well.
I think for these, they might potentially do what your prediction was for the top 3s. Or you can just get like 10 pairs, flip them for $20 each. You know?
It's a lot of work.
Or who knows? Or it could go down to 230, 220.
I wonder. I mean, if they're like somewhat limited stock, I can see them doing that.
That's true. I don't know. I don't know stock numbers on these too.
Yeah, I don't know stock numbers. I'm expecting a GR, but they could just be more limited. Right. I might even go for grade school sizes on this one because, like I said, the thing about the girls.
Potentially.
Maybe
it'll be interesting.
Free returns. So I'll just go off sneakers. If I don't get it, I don't get it. And if I get it, I can return it for free. So. Anyways, I think that's all we're gonna have time for today. We appreciate having Seattle Hype Plug, Alex working us into his schedule on the road. You know.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we got the navigation in the background and everything.
Navigation.
No, but I'll definitely. Are all the episodes posted already, like on SoundCloud? All that?
Yeah, they're on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple Music.
Sneak Speak.
Yeah, you can look up Sneak Speak. You can look up Eminem Resell.
Well, now I know what I'm going to be doing for the next 8 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, you got some time on your hands, but yeah, appreciate having you on. Make sure you guys go follow seattle.hype.plug. Based out of Seattle, now based out of Texas, so and everywhere in between.
Keep giving us questions.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll have a poll up. We'll have a little poll up for the whole pads VNDS thing. And also, if you guys have any questions to ask us, we're going to get a ton together and get them ready for season 2. I'm really excited for season 2. A lot of fun stuff planned. It would be probably make it more engaging.
Yeah.
I think it'll be super fun. We have some ideas. No spoilers.
Yeah. Seasons is
but yeah.
I like what you guys are doing.
I appreciate it.
Keep it up. This was fun.
Yeah, maybe we can have you back on again.
Yeah.
I hope so, yeah.
Yep. It'd be awesome. If I ever make it out to Texas or Seattle, I'll hit you up.
Yeah, hit me up.
Yep. That's all we got for today. Thank you for listening. Signing off. It's Mateo.
It's Mason.
It's Alex.
And we will catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.